Welcome to V-Roll. We have that giveaway, the Pokemon 151 poster collection going out to one lucky winner. I think I'm going to do some others, adding in a few prizes here to work our way to the 4,000 subscribers. But what you need to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel on our road to 4,000. And if you could, go back to this video here. That's the one where you need to leave a comment so you are officially entered to win for that giveaway. And if I add anything else, it'll automatically be a part of it. Your entry will still count. You don't have to enter again. It's just the one time and being a part of it. So thank you for being here and being a part of the channel. I'm doing something different today. I'm doing something completely different. I've not taken a look into this or dove into this in any real capacity. It's been glimpses at best. So you are here for the beginning, for the start of it, my own personal journey, and maybe a journey you're going to be taking too, looking at graded cards. Graded cards. For the most part, we're looking at like PSA graded cards. And it's only a small sampling because this is very new for me, but I'm seeing an obvious trend. Not really having looked into this before. It's very interesting, but let's dive in. We are looking at Pokemon cards from Pokemon Scarlet and Violet 151. I just thought it'd be appropriate. We're giving away the poster collection, and we are hot on the heels of a possible reprint, possible restock. I really do. I'm hoping we see this coming in about a month, that we see a big stock up hitting shelves. Whether it's the poster collection, the binders, a whole slurry of products there. The ETB would be great. The booster bundles would be awesome. But we'll see. We'll see if that's coming. And I just think there's a lot of talk going on about 151, so I'm kind of still hyped up about it. And we have Venusaur. When you start looking into this, the PSA 10 is always so much higher than the next step down in 9. And in some cases, not always, but the raw card and the PSA 9 are the same or very close to it. So that's an interesting observation, because if you're going to be buying the raw card, you could just take that little extra step of a few dollars and get the PSA slabbed in 9. There you have an encapsulated card, because if you were to get the raw card and then go and grade it yourself and it ends up being a 9, well, there you go. You're kind of in the same boat, but you actually paid more because the grading is going to cost more than the difference just to go into it right now as a PSA 9. Now, obviously, if you're going to go buy the single card and you take a look at it, you inspect the edges and the corners and everything, you look and see if there's any scratches, all of that, any whitening, you can do your best to see if it would possibly grade for a 10, then take that risk of obtaining it and sending it in, and then finding out if you get a 10, maybe you're still stuck with a 9, who knows. In some cases, these people get their cards back in a 9 and they can't see anything visibly wrong with it. Even after a deeper inspection on it, they don't know why the 9 came. There have been stories of people cracking their 9s, resubmitting them, and then coming back as a 10. So it's a very interesting game to play, but let's just look at the recent pricing here. $46 for ungraded, $50 for a PSA 9. That's $4. I mean, $4.33, but it's $4 really. So it's not much of a difference on that spectrum there. PSA 10, however, shoots this thing 3x from the raw, 3x from the 9, actually a little bit beyond that. So that's kind of the similar story. So if you are going into it, I totally understand the draw to getting the PSA 10. I totally understand going after that top tier. If you have any familiarity with coins, it's the same kind of story in slabbed coins, that the highest mark at 70 versus the next step down of 69 is a big difference. All right, and there's a place for it of when you want to get the top tier versus the next step down. So I'm kind of relating that little bit of knowledge there into how the slabbed works for the Pokemon TCG. Blastoise, we have similar here, 180 on that 10, and we're at 45 versus 48 for the ungraded to the raw. So, raw ungraded to the 9. Again, we're like $3 here. This is not much, folks, but that PSA 10 is far beyond. And Venusaur's higher than Blastoise right now. That's pretty crazy. Charizard, wow, $415 for a 10. I mean, that's pretty crazy. I wonder what the population on 10s are. Don't know if I have that data in front of me here. I'm not seeing anything obvious. I don't know. 140 for ungraded, and a 9 is $134. Save yourself the $6 and get the 9. I'm telling you, because if somebody's just going to sell you an ungraded, unless you really get to inspect it, they've already looked at it and determined it's not a 10. So the centering's off, there's whitening, something is going on that they are determining it's not a 10. So they're going to go ahead and sell that. Not everybody who has these really nice high-end cards sits there and thinks, well, if I grade it, it'll be worth 4 or 5 times. They don't go through that process every time. But a lot of places, a lot of people are getting a little bit more aware, and that's what I'm trying to do, is just be a little bit more aware. So this is just an early look into this journey here. Ungraded 16, 25 for a 9. Now that makes more sense to me. That makes more sense. We're at a $9 spread there. Having a little difference where it's like when you're talking a sub 20 card, getting it by almost another $10 to get to that 9. Okay, but grading I think currently is about 15, and you have to submit enough of them to get to that price. So okay, you're still on the win because it's $9 here rather than the 15. You're $6 better just for your chance at grading, and you don't know if you're going to get that 10 or not unless you're really seasoned with this and you've had a lot of practice and you know what you're looking for and you know what they're looking for. Even still, I mean, I've heard stories that people really submit clean copies, really good. They've done it hundreds of times before, and they think it's a 10. It comes back a 9, like they just got somebody on their bad day when they were grading or something. Here we are on the Dragonair. What a beautiful card. This one has really grown on me over the time, and I really like having some of these, especially in 151, some of these middle evolutions getting a lot of love because they get overlooked so quickly. I think that was something that we found with the starters, having the Charmeleon, having the War Turtle, having the Ivysaur, those getting a lot of love in this set and really great artworks. We are at PSA 9 for $21. Ungraded is 18. So again, if you don't want to pay for the grading, but you want to get into graded, PSA 9 might be the way to go. I'm leaning that way. I totally get the 10 and the draw to it, and I get the ungraded and grading it yourself. That adds another level of mystery. It's really a gamble when we open packs, right? You gamble with what product you grab off the shelf. You gamble with what pack you're opening at the time, and you never know what you're going to get. Well, same with grading. You can really be seasoned at how this works and what you're doing with it, but you still don't know for sure if that's the way it's going to go. So if you want to get ahead of it, you could start by buying the graded. I have 0 graded cards, and I've built this up in my head that I need to get something amazing. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself. I don't think it's that special or that important that I need to have my first one to be some iconic thing. So the other side of that is I have a ton of cards that I would like to get graded, but I haven't gone through that process yet. So maybe that would be the best way to obtain graded cards first, is just going through my own collection and enjoying the process and learning the process. Looks like there's a lot of people out there, other big Poke YouTubers out there that have discount codes for PSA. Right here, there's a PSA $25 code to get here, PC 25 to get $25 off. So it seems like you can get an entire graded for free on that $25 if you wanted to there. Erica's Invitation, we're at 75 for PSA 10, 18 on the 9, and the ungraded is 15. Again, we're at a $3 spread for that lower tier. Pretty insane. Again, $3. Here we go. Ungraded is 11, $14 for the PSA 9, and getting this particular Pokemon card in a PSA 10 is $81. I don't know that I'd even want something like this graded. It's a great looking card, but when you're getting to a card that's only $10 right now, $11, is that when you want to put the money into grading? Probably not. Maybe these grades were done earlier when there was a little bit more value on the card itself in the raw, and that's been on the market, so it's driving the price up. Here's an interesting one. I can't find this for $8.50 ungraded. It's sitting around like $12 right now. It's one I need for my collection, so I'm looking for that $8.50 if I can find it. And $20 in a 9. Now this makes more sense. We're more than double the price there to get to the 9, and then a little bit more than double that getting into that 10. This makes an easier, more logical pattern, in my opinion, that you're going to have a little bit more there. But even still, if it's $15 to grade, $20 to get it done makes it a $5 card, but you paid for the slab at $15. So, really, really interesting And this is all new to me. So that's why I sound so uneducated and stupid, because I am in this area. I am. And this is the learning part of just kind of getting the idea of what is the market telling me, what does it mean, and how does it work? I mean, Pokemon cards are pretty volatile market to be in altogether, but once you add that extra level of sealed, once you add that extra level of graded cards, now you have to deal with graded companies. You have BGS, CGC, PSA. There's quite a few different companies out there that you want to consider. PSA is probably the largest and most common that you'll find, but there's other reasons to go elsewhere, Black Label and things like that. So $12 for ungraded, $21 for the 9 universe there, and $75 in a PSA 10. Poliwhirl, looking good. Love this card. This is helping. Still, if you got to pay for that grade fee, the 9 seems like a safe bet for what you can get out of it, and that's no different here. In early days, as I am with graded Pokemon cards, I would say that I would probably want to enter in looking for 9s of cards I like, or grading my cards that I think are going to be worthy of a 10 and being okay with them coming back as a 9. Because if you have a $10 card and you think you're going to get a $67 card, don't be so discouraged when it comes back as a $22 card in a 9, all right? You have to be set up for that, because you may think it's a 10, but you don't quite know what goes on once it leaves your hands, where it ends up, who's grading it, what they're going to determine. And they have tools, they have training, they have all sorts of things that can see things that we're not really trained to see until you get more seasoned and more information and more practice and start understanding what you're looking at and how to go about it. So this seems like a really whole big different area, but it's an area I'm interested in, and I have been for a long while, just haven't really taken any deep dive into it. So with the Pokemon TCG, graded cards, I know sports cards go crazy with graded cards, I'm going to be looking into it probably from the perspective of PSA. It's the largest, the most common, and the one I would probably feel comfortable entering in the graded market with. There's a lot of small companies, low labels. I worry about those because you're still paying those fees, you're still getting a grading. It may be equal, it might even be better, but because of the scale of that business, because of the competition with something like PSA, the recognizable label, the credential of PSA behind it, there's a history there. You kind of want to have that value added into your label too. If you're going to be spending the money and getting it slabbed up, you want that slab to have some meaning in a more common, fluid market. So as a safe bet, PSA would be a great entry point, and staying away from the cheaper or lesser known graders, just because they may not last, they may not have the recognition that's necessary. Let me know if you're interested in the the graded card market. PSA is where I'll be keeping my standard, but the graded card market for Pokemon TCG, just because it's a journey I'd like to go on, and if it's something you'd enjoy too, then I want you to be a part of it with me, and I'll make this a regular thing. But here's something I want to be a pretty regular thing. Happy people out there getting some great cards. The poster collection from 151 is going out to one lucky winner. All you have to do is like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Be a part of V-Rule. And go over to this video here. That's the one where you need to leave an additional comment where we are reaching our 4,000 subscriber goal. And I'll pull comments from there to select the winner of this and other prizes I just haven't gotten there. So when the other prizes are introduced, automatically already entered once you do so there. So thank you for tuning in, and don't forget to hit the bell because I post 7 days a week. And with that, I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.